So I'm going to officially kickstart this by welcoming everyone to episode 18. Noel and I are here every Monday, 9 p.m. on Facebook and on Instagram. So today's episode, we have various different segments. We got Discovery of the Week. We have Question and Answer. We'll have your favorite Show and Tell. And lastly, is Gifts. So we are here to be of your service and answer questions. Now, Noel and I are both internationally certified trainers. So Noel is also certified with Precision Nutrition. So he can guide you best with nutrition protocols, lifestyle changes, habits. Ask Noel all of those questions. I myself is a corrective exercise specialist. So feel free to ask me anything on training, posture, body aches, and pain. Okay, as Noel said, we are here to be of your service. We try our best to answer your questions. If we don't know, we'll say we don't know, but we'll provide you links and solutions that possibly helps you. So all the links and solutions, we're going to paste them on Facebook comment section. So it's going to stay there on Facebook in this live. So once again, if you're watching this on Facebook, I invite you to please share this live so that it can reach out to more people and we can get more questions coming in. So Noel, can you share with us what are the amazing gifts and how to win them?
You mean the bribes, Alvin?
Bribes.
That's right, everybody. We are bribing you all. Why bribe? Because that's just how it works. So, no, just kidding. We've got prizes to give away for any questions that you may ask. Okay, remember, there's no such thing as a bad question. The only bad question is the one that you don't ask. So ask away, and we are giving prizes to anyone who asks a question. Even if you don't answer your question, we're going to make those prizes available to you. So I'm giving away free classes, free credits to attend my live stream program. Here at Daily Muscle, we run live stream classes 7 days a week. We run about 30 classes a week. Every day, there's something that you can tune into via Zoom and join our classes. And I'm giving those away for free. And I would love to include you in our little tribe of people who are working out every day. So that's my gift to you and anyone who asks a question. Alvin, what are you bribing them with?
So I'm gifting you 3-day access to bribing you, gifting you 3-day access to any of my course in Achieve Fitness. So I got Little Achieve Fitness Academy. It's online courses on nutrition, training, a lot of stuff. You get anything you want for 3 days. So you get to see the videos and all the content inside there. Okay, now in order for you to get the gift, remember, you have to ask a question either on Facebook or Instagram, and then just DM us afterward. We'll give you the access to all of it. So moving on to our next and first segment, we call this segment Discovery of the Week. It's something Noel and I discovered for the past 7 days, and we want to share it with you. So I'm going to lead this segment. The thing that I discovered over the past 7 days is this. So this is called a peanut ball. You got two round, hard ball bind together, looks like a shape of peanut. This is actually to put it at the back of your neck that allows you to trigger point or form roll over it right down to your spine. So it's called peanut because you see in the middle here, that's like line, that's where your spine goes. And then right here will go right at the outer part of your spine and release all those tight muscles. So this is really nice. Initially, I used a tennis ball, which is just one. But with the peanut ball, it fits really good. And how I do it is, the best way is actually to ask someone to roll it for you. But if you're alone, you can do it against the wall where you squat and lean back against the wall. Or you can do it against the floor where you lie down. I prefer to do it against the wall because you can use the leg to kick back a little bit, give you a little bit of tension. But whichever works, I do this almost every day, especially right now. We are sitting in front of the computer. Our posture, it's more on like a rounded shoulder. Our lower back gets stiff. So I spend about 5 to 10 minutes multiple times a day just to loosen up my spine. So this is a peanut ball. I'm going to paste a link where you can get this in Lazada. There's tons of it. So do check out on the comment section in Facebook. So that's my discovery of the week. What do you have, Noel?
I don't have one of those, but I have something similar. So, and mine is Well, I didn't buy it in the past week. I actually bought it like 2 years ago, I think. But I rediscovered it in the past week because we're all at home and we're trying to do new things at home. So I'm going to show you it's a foam roller. Okay, we're familiar with a foam roller, but this one looks a little different. And here's the interesting thing. We didn't plan this, all right? But just like Alvin's peanut, which has grooves, you notice how this foam roller has grooves on it?
Right.
Right? So in the same way that Alvin's peanut that he showed you can fit into hard to reach spots that a normal foam roller can't. You can even if you roll your back and your spine can nicely fit into this groove, and you can change the alignment of the foam roller to hit those hard to reach spots. So this is way more effective than a regular foam roller, which just has a flat surface. And this is not a sponsored post, but the brand of this roller is called Rollga. So Rollga. I believe you can either buy them from Amazon, or some of my clients have recently been buying them from Lazada, which is interesting. So it's available here. And they come in different, it's foam, okay? So it's not just coated with foam, the entire thing is foam. And I have one that's orange in color, and I have one that's like this polka dot color. What's the difference? The difference is in the softness or the hardness. So some are harder, some are softer. And if you're wondering hey, what's up? What's with this foam rolling? So foam rolling can actually help you recover better from your workouts. It can help relieve muscle tightness. It can help with soreness, inflammation. It can help you increase your range of motion for your joints. And it's actually very handy to be used as part of your warm-up or as part of your cooling down, or just to add more variety to your prepping for your workouts and really recovery. So if you've never tried foam rolling before, I invite you to check it out, do a bit of research. And if I'm basically telling you right now that I think this is the best foam roller that you can get. And of course, over the years, foam rollers have evolved from when it first started and it was just like this little cylinder. And Alvin showed you a different kind. And yeah, so that was my little discovery of the week. I don't have a specific link. Actually, Alvin has posted the link for the peanut. But if you want to go over to just Google Rollga, Rollga, you would find it. It's super light. It's bigger than the peanut, of course. But it's that's what I wanted to share with all of y'all. You're sitting at home. You're not moving around much. Your back is tight. Your shoulders are tight. I think just taking a 5-minute break just to foam roll could be a great way to just get things going. Yeah, so that's my discovery of the week.
Nice. So both of us somewhat able to loosen up muscles to help you get going.
Because we're all sitting at home, stressed out and tense.
Yeah.
So we decided to share.
So moving on to our next segment, which is question and answer. So this is where you ask your questions. We're going to pin them up. If you're watching on Facebook, we invite you to just comment your questions and then we'll be able to pin them up. If you're on Instagram, do post them on the little question mark, and then Noel will be able to pin them up for you all.
Yeah.
So first off the list, I'm going to go through the question that sent prior to the week. So we have one here from Nicole Lee. After running 4 kilometers, I'm disappointed that I can only eat one roti kosong with dhal as equal calories.
Yeah.
You want to take this, Noel?
Yeah, I think the issue here is that what Nicole is saying, that she ran and she worked so hard, and after all that effort, I literally just burned the equivalent of one roti kosong, roti canai, right? With some dal. So the answer to that question is yeah, that's right. So here's the thing. The thing about exercise is you shouldn't exercise with the sole purpose of burning calories. Yes, it does burn calories, but even sleeping burns calories. Just sitting here and talking also burns calories, right? But if your sole number one reason of training is just to burn what you just ate, that's a game that you can't win, because you're always going to eat and then you're going to feel guilty and then you want to burn it. So that's the wrong approach. if that's how you're looking at exercise or movement or strength training or yoga or Zumba or whatever it is that you're doing, the goal is to make you stronger, to improve your fitness, to improve your health. That is the goal of moving more. Is not to burn calories. Will you burn calories? Yes, you would. So I would invite you, Nicole, just to kind of shift your focus, because if you're really just focused on, I ate this today, or I'm feeling guilty, I had a piece of cake last night, so tomorrow I need to run more. It's like you're punishing yourself. It's really the wrong way of looking at it. And like I said, it's a race that you cannot win, because where does it end? Because tomorrow you're going to eat something else, and then you're going to have to run even more, and then eat something else, and then run even more, and then it's like, right? But even with all this running and chasing around, chasing your own tail, remember that you're getting a fitness benefit. You're improving your fitness levels. You are using your muscles, and you run uphill. If you're strength training, you are getting stronger. So focus on that rather than being sad about the number of calories, because you know what? You actually highlighted something that a lot of people don't realize, which is actually exercise doesn't burn a lot of calories. It doesn't. In 10 minutes, I could eat half a pizza, and that would be 900 calories maybe. But in 10 minutes, what can you do that will burn 900 calories? Nothing. You could run for your life, and maybe you will burn 80 calories maybe in 10 minutes, maybe. Right? No way you can get close to that. So it's a race that you cannot win. But thank you for bringing that up. So the importance here again is that, especially if you're watching this, and if fat loss happens to be your goal, you got to realize now that it's not just about how much you exercise to create that caloric deficit. It's really about what you're eating as well. Okay, but that's kind of like going into a different topic. So I hope I kind of just gave you some clarity in that situation, Nicole. Don't be disappointed. My advice to you is just eat that roti canai and just enjoy it and get over it and move on. Okay, don't feel bad that is all you could eat because of your 4-kilometer run. So I hope I kind of helped with that and answered your question, Nicole.
Right. I love that you share about going in circles, because I think that's a mindset that we really need to change, because we don't exercise to burn calories. If you think like that, you're going to stuck in that trap. And when you can think outside of that, you actually feel free. Wow, I'm exercising for this particular purpose, and I'm eating to fuel my body for this particular purpose. And if I were to eat roti kosong, that's fine. I just move on. Life goes on. Everything goes on. Your body continues to burn calories. So it's all about making more good choices than less unhealthy choices. Do you have any questions from Instagram that we can just pin over?
There is a question from, I'm not sure what his name is. I think it's Ikram or IKR. He pretty much asked the same question a few times. So let me just read this out. He's asking if we provide a meal plan for skinny people to bulk up. I'm 18 years old. I'm 55 kgs, and I want to get to maybe 75 kgs or 80 kgs. So let me rephrase this question. What he's really asking is, how do I gain weight in a healthy way? And his goal, he's 18 years old, okay? And his goal is to eventually come from 55 kgs to maybe 75. So it's like 20 kgs that he's planning to gain. I'm guessing you are thin and on the skinnier side, and you want to bulk up and build some lean muscle. That's a great goal to have. That's a great question to ask. Alvin, you want to shed some light on this, or you want me to answer it?
I think I can take this.
Okay.
I think the goal, of course, in order to gain weight, is to be in a calorie surplus. You need to eat more than what your body burns. And how to eat more is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So from where you are at, I think the first thing I would do is to have you to gradually increase your calories bit by bit. Yeah. So that your body can adapt to the increment of calories. And over the next 2 weeks, slowly bump it up a little bit. So if you are working with me, as a personal trainer, first off, we do not give out meal plans. We only can suggest, we only can guide you. Meal plans will best goes to dietitian or nutritionist. So coming from me, in my opinion, how I would work is I would measure your weight every 2 weeks, and we want to see a little increment in your weight. If your weight remains plateau, then I will slowly bump up your calories bit by bit until where we can see a progressive increments in terms of weight, and then we'll match that with your calories. 20 kilos is a lot. What I would suggest is to play by ears as you go, as you increase the next 5 kilos, see how your body changes, have a look in the mirror. Sometimes you realize that why would I want 75? 75 kilos of fat and 75 kilos of muscles is two different things, but they're both 75. You find yourself, changing as you understand the process, as you understand your body. You would know how far you want to go. You would know how much food you can take. You will know what kind of training you would need. You know, Matching your training and nutrition and a lot of patience is what you need in this quest. Is it possible? Yes, it is. But you need that training matched with your nutrition and a lot of patience. You can achieve it.
Great, awesome. So that's right. So if there's one thing I want to highlight is what Alvin said also, as in like sometimes people come to us and like, hey, give me a meal plan. It's actually be out of our scope. And even with my precision nutrition certification, it's actually out of our scope to give a meal plan. But we can advise on how you can get there. What are some of the food options that you can look at? What are some of the strategies that you can include? And that is something that every fitness professional can help you. Right? I mean, you come to us for help, that's what we can do. But the reason why we can't and we don't tell you that, okay, you're going to eat 2 slices of bread tomorrow with 300 grams of chicken and this and that, we don't, because everybody's different, right? And nutritionists spend 2 to 3 years getting a degree. So that's, they are good in that. And if you really want specific help on nutrition, you would want to look at getting the help of a nutritionist. But here's the thing, I think gaining weight is not that complicated. You generally just you got to eat more, don't eat junk, eat healthier food, and train. That means you got to incorporate exercise and movement into your routine and not just eat for the sake of gaining weight. So awesome. Thank you for asking that question, IKR0808. And to my Instagram friends, if you've got more questions as well, just hit that little question mark that you see and ask your questions, and we're going to feature your questions and answer them. And to my friends on Instagram, looking forward to your questions and happy to answer them. Either Alvin and I will be able to address any questions that you may have. Okay, over to you, Alvin. I see you have a question ready.
We have a question here on Facebook, and it asks how to know if I'm standing straight. So I believe this question is asking about posture. So I'm going to take this by saying, when it comes to posture, to know whether you have a good posture or poor posture, there's a little test that you can do. So when I was doing my corrective exercise, the first test, the most simple test, is called the wall test. It's basically, you just go stand against the wall with your heels, your back, and your head touching the wall. Okay? Now, when you stand 3 points against the wall, a good posture would be all 3 points should be able to touch the wall. And if you take your hands, you put through your lower back, you won't be able to go through fully. There will be a little bit of gap, but you won't be able to put your hands full through your lower back like a big arch. Okay? That is a good posture. Now, if you can't touch all 3 points, for example, you go against the wall, you realize that your head is not in contact. So most likely you have what we call like a forward head, where your head protruded in front a little bit. Or if your shoulder or your back can't touch, you most likely have what we call a kyphosis posture or rounded posture, where rounded in front. And then if your hands can go through your lower back, that's more likely what we call a lordosis, where there's an arch in your lower back. So these are the posture deviations. Why are we like that? Most likely is because of our daily lifestyle, the way we sit, the way we stand, only train on one side of the body, overuse one side of the muscles, don't do much stretching. So when you incorporate all of this, you should be able to improve on your posture. And a good posture is ideally when you stand straight, you'll be a straight line between your ears to your shoulders, to your hips, to your knees, to your ankle, all those joints, one straight line from the side. Okay, so those of you who are watching, go try the wall test later. If there's a wall, just stand against the wall and then see your posture. Okay, if you can try it right now, feel free to comment how is it like, or if you have a forward head or upper back or lordosis, okay? And then we can move forward with that.
Great, awesome. Got more questions coming up.
Oh, maybe I can add one more there. How to know if I'm standing straight? You know, if you have a tight muscles, use the roller or the peanut ball. Yeah,
That would help.
that would help you feel really good. Okay, next question, Noel.
Great. The next question, some of y'all are posting it in the comments as well. I think I have a little bit of an answer for this, but I want your input on this, Alvin. This
Sure.
question comes from Balman Sidhu. How can I build my wrist strength? It hurts when I do push-ups. So his wrist
I think
hurts
the
when he does
question.
push-ups. I will add this first and then to see if Alvin wants to add anything. I don't think it's a matter of the strength of your wrist, Baman. It could be just the lack of mobility in your wrist. I think for many people, if like maybe you're new to working out, maybe I'm guessing, right? Or maybe you spend a lot of time typing on the computer, and you are generally not as active as someone who's been going to the gym for 10 years, maybe. Then I think you could benefit from some mobility drills for your wrist that can help improve the flexibility and make the push-ups become more comfortable. Again, I don't think it's a matter of strength that your wrist hurts. I think it's because you can just have a better range of motion in your wrist, and that would help with the pain that you're experiencing in your wrist. He also added on earlier that he's not a heavy guy. I think like 60 kgs. I think he wanted to clarify that it's not the weight
Right.
that's on the wrist, because if you're like obese and you're trying to do push-ups, that can also hurt your wrist. So that would be my answer for you, Balman. I hope that helped. You could go and look up. I do not know any specific mobility drills for the wrist, but you could definitely look them up. Alvin, is there anything you want to add to that?
I'd just like to add, like when we do a particular movements, you want to make sure that you feel on the targeted muscles. For example, like when you're doing a push-up, you should feel most of the tension on your chest, shoulder, and your tricep as secondary muscles. Now, if you feel it on the joint, like in your case on the wrist, usually it's alignment or technique that needs some adjustments. So for example, if you're doing a push-up, when you try next, I invite you to make sure that your wrists and elbows and shoulders are aligned when you're pushing at the top. You want to avoid your shoulder going to front or to back, or your elbow is bent out 45 degree. You want to make sure that the alignment is there first, because most of the time when you ensure that everything, the technique is good, the tension will go to your working muscles. That's number one. And number two, if you find that a full body push-ups put a lot of tension on your joints, for example, wrist, I would invite you to regress, do an easier version of a full body push-up, which could be pushing up on a bench, on a chair, or perhaps performing a knee push-up where your knee is rested on the mat, on the ground, and then you push yourself up because you're only pushing a lesser weight, only your upper body with your legs supported. And then work from there, making sure the technique is okay, then go through the movement. So what happens is it's going to teach your body, make it a habit, like, oh, this is how my joint should stack and align when I'm doing a push-up. When you can build that over the next few weeks, your body will pick it up and realize that, oh, when I do push-up, it's not my wrist, it's my chest, my shoulders, my tricep is the one that is extending. Okay, and this usually applies to most movements, even like a squat or a deadlift or a plank. Okay, alignment technique first. Okay, give that a try. If your wrist still hurts, I invite you to reach out to Noel and me and say, I tried that, wrist still hurt. Send us a video. We'll be happy to take a look at your form, and then we will provide you further possible solutions, and to see how that goes. Okay, fantastic questions.
Yeah, enjoy your push-ups. Great, we got more questions. There's some questions I see on Facebook as well, Alvin, so I'm not sure you want to take some on Facebook, or do we go on to more on Instagram?
Let's take one on Facebook. So we got Natalia Nicholas. Natalia Nicholas asked, how would you know that when you work out or when doing any stretches, you are doing it right or wrong? I'm going to take this, Noel.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when you do any sorts of stretches, very similar to the previous one, you want to know this stretch, what is the main muscles targeted? For example, if you're doing a hamstring stretch, when you straighten your knees, you pull, you want to feel your hamstring and not so much on your thighs, on your calf. You want to feel the main muscles. So it's very important to know that that particular stretch that you are doing, which is the targeted muscles. Okay, that's number one. And when you do feel the targeted muscles, you want to make sure that your alignment or the tension, it's mainly on the targeted muscles at an intensity of maybe 6 to 7. Okay, oftentimes when we stretch, we really like to pull, and we think that the more painful you feel, the more effective the stretch, which is not the case. Because when we go too hard, what happens? The body will tend to be in a very defensive mode. You feel good, but you don't really get an effective stretch. So a rule of thumb is about 6 to 7 out of 10 that you feel a stretch. Static stretching, you want to hold for at least 30 seconds. If you're really tight, you can go up to a minute. And if you have all of that, you are doing the stretches correctly. Anything you want to add, Noel?
Great, nothing to add. I will just go to the next question on Instagram. Quite
Great.
excited to answer this one.
Okay, let's do this.
Super straightforward. This comes from Aris Zahar. He's asking, will getting a DNA test help us with understanding our body for weight loss? Well, we've seen a lot of these ads, a lot of influencers promoting these tests. Some of these tests are not cheap. It's like 1,000, 2,000 ringgit. But here's the keyword, Aris, you mentioned this just now. Will it help us with understanding our body? Yes. This DNA test, if there's any reason I feel you should do it, is to understand your body. It's going to give you a breakdown of where your ancestors from, how many percent is from South Africa and from China, and all of this. It's quite interesting to know that. You can also see things like and traits like, what is your reaction to alcohol? Will you turn red? What is your reaction if you eat certain things? Very interesting to understand your body. I've actually done one of these like 10 years ago. They just take a little saliva test. And I did it just for information, just to know. And it kind of just confirms a lot of things. It says that you have curly hair. Like, yeah, obviously, like curly hair. Your eyes are brown. It's like, yeah, your eyes are brown. But it goes a little deeper than that. It tells you things like, you are most likely to be lactose intolerant. For me, that was my situation, although I don't think I'm lactose intolerant, but it gives you an insight to help you understand your body. So if there's one reason you want to splurge those thousands of ringgit to do this DNA test, do it just for that. I think it's a great investment to just know more about your body. But will it help you lose weight? I really don't think so, because at the end of the day, if fat loss is your goal, it boils down to a caloric deficit. And that is something that you can achieve without a DNA test. If anything, the DNA test may help you understand why you feel a certain way to certain foods maybe, but it's not going to give you the secret answer to this is why you've never been able to lose weight. No, that's not going to come from the DNA test. They may position it as such, but it's not. That's in my opinion. So if you want to do it just for information, go ahead and do it. Otherwise, it's not going to give you the secret answer. The secret answer to for weight loss is caloric deficit, eating in a deficit, training more to create that deficit, and then your fat loss happens. Sometimes people get in the deficit and maybe you're not losing body fat. Then you should actually go for a blood test perhaps, or go see a doctor and figure out maybe there's a medical or hormonal condition. But if that's not going to show up in your DNA profiling as well again, right? So great. If anything, a blood test might do you more help in understanding your body for fat loss than a DNA test would, if that makes sense. So great. I just wanted to shed some information on that. Okay, over to you, Alvin.
Perfect. I think you have covered everything, Noel. I love that you answer that and you sum it up, you give a solution. So I'll leave it as that with DNA tests. I know that now we mentioned DNA tests, our Facebook is going to appear that advertisement, and I'm saying Facebook picks it up.
I've been seeing tons of it already anyway.
Right.
Any more questions? Otherwise, I still have a few more on Instagram.
So we're going to hold on to our questions as we move on to our next segment, okay, which we are going to come back to questions. So invite you to continue ask your questions. So our next segment is show and tell. Show and tell is something where I show you something and tell you a story about it. So Noel, what would be your show and tell for today?
Yeah, so I gave you a kind of teaser last week, if you were here last week. I want to tell you about QuestBars. QuestBars are, I would say, my favorite protein bar. There's so many protein bars out there, but QuestBars are kind of versatile. They've also been around for a long time. I buy them by the box. You can buy them from iHerb. You buy a box, it works out to around 10, 11 ringgit per bar. And we've got interesting flavors. This is my favorite flavor. It is the white chocolate raspberry. It sounds weird. It sounds bizarre. It's not something that you would go and buy as a dessert, but trust me, the flavor is quite hard to explain. I'm not someone who likes raspberries. I'm not someone who likes white chocolate, but the white chocolate raspberry is pretty amazing. Now, here's why I like the QuestBars, because they can be a great addition to, how should I say this? To boost up the nutritional value of whatever you're eating. Number one is it tastes like dessert. Okay, so this is the bar. And the cool thing about the bar is it's actually, it's not like a wafer. It's actually kind of pliable. See, it bends, right? I know some people who put the bars in a microwave and they kind of like make a little paste out of it. So there's so many things. If you Google things that you can do with a QuestBar, you'll find a whole bunch of things, and you will never find that with any other protein bar. Again, this is not a sponsored post. It's just sharing what I discovered about QuestBars. And they have a very interesting texture. So either you love it or you hate it. They're not like a little chocolate bar where it's going to melt in your mouth. You need to chew it a little bit. So here's what I like doing, and I recently started doing with the QuestBar. So this is what it looks like, okay? So it's like, yeah, it looks like a little bit like a paste. And it's you could put a bowl of yogurt, and like plain yogurt is like this kind of plain, right? Now, instead of putting honey and sugar and all kinds of other things inside, you could take a QuestBar. And look, I actually use a pair of, this is a kitchen scissors, okay? You can actually cut it. Okay, it flew off to my computer. And you can cut it into little small pieces. And you just hold the bar over the bowl of yogurt and you snip, 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 snip. And ta-da, the next thing you know, you've cut the whole bar up and you've added, because the QuestBar has a great macro profile. It has 20 grams of protein. It's super high in fiber, and it uses natural sweetener. It uses monk fruit as a sweetener. So there's no artificial ingredients. So there's no sugar in this, and it really just boosts the nutritional profile of what you're eating. So you can have a piece of fruit with a QuestBar. You could have, my favorite thing to do is yogurt, Greek yogurt, one portion, plain Greek yogurt. So you don't have to buy the flavored Greek yogurt, which has sugar and all that stuff inside. You buy the plain Greek yogurt and you chop up a QuestBar and stir it up, and it's actually pretty awesome. So that's my little show and tell and hack and what I've been doing with the QuestBars. It's not that easy to find in Malaysia. In the US, you can find it anywhere. Even the 7-Eleven in the US has QuestBars. But in Malaysia, I think there's this place called Fitbox, My Fitbox. They might sell it online. Otherwise, iHerb, you can buy them by the box. That's what I do.
So how many bars you eat in a day, Noel?
Actually, not a lot, Alvin. It really boils down to when am I going to have that yogurt, which is like maybe 3 times a week. And even then, to be honest, it's not always that I chop up the QuestBar. It's just something that I just learned like about a month ago. I've seen people doing it, and I was like, wow, I never knew you could chop that QuestBar and put it into other things, right? You could make a smoothie, a green smoothie, and just chop this up and just put little pieces on it. And then it becomes something a little more substantial, right, because you're adding your protein and fiber. So think about your QuestBar as more than just a protein bar that you eat on the go, but it can be something that you add to your snacks and to your desserts and whatever it is that you're making. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's something sweet and also with a good nutrients profile. So it's win-win.
Yeah.
Win-win. That's a great show and tell. So that's something for your mouth. My show and tell is something for your nose. And it's called Doterra. So this is essential oil. So what happens is that you dip a few essential oils into the diffuser, and then you put water, and then you on it, you connect it to your laptop or USB, and then it will come out all those fragrance. So this is just an introductory kit. So there's few flavors in it. We have lavender, we have lemon, and peppermint. Now I've been experimenting with aromatherapy, because there are studies that shows that aromatherapy is going to help you to relax. Before bed, you put in peppermint, you add a little bit of lavender, you have that smell, it de-stress. which a lot of studies shows, yeah, it does help. It does help to calm our body, our mind down. Like for example, for peppermint and lavender, what I'll do is I'll put a little bit, like two, three drop, mix it, and then I on it 30 minutes before my bed as I was doing my reading or whatever I do before bed, meditation or what. It does help me to relax. I feel that I get better sleep. I see based on my deep sleep increases. So I've been doing it for the past months. Yeah, so I'm also experimenting with flavors. But for sleep, it's always peppermint.
Do you
And then
use a diffuser, Alvin, or do you just
yeah,
put the oil on your
oh,
diffuser? Okay,
I put a diffuser. Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. So I just on it there and then I go to sleep and then in the morning it will just dry out. Yeah. And then in the morning, I also tried lemon. I feel the night one helped me to sleep better, but they say like lemon or certain flavors, certain oil in the morning, it can increase your alertness. I don't find it. Maybe I need to find the right one. So if you all know any, feel free to just comment or reach out to me because I'm still in experimenting phase. But the sleeping one definitely helped me. I feel that I have better deep sleep if I have my essential oil with me. So I will keep doing that.
Wow, that's 100% true. As in, like, I've got tons of Doterra essential oils. I don't sell it. I just buy it from my clients. I don't know if Alvin's selling it, but the thing about Doterra is that they have blends as well, rather than just the oil. So my all-time favorite ever in the world, it's not here, it's in the bedroom. But they have a blend called Lavender Peace, which is a mixture of the lavender and a couple of other oils. That is the absolute best thing like ever. And you can literally feel that when you sleep to that, it like knocks you out. It knocks you out in a good way, like, not gonna drug you to sleep or something. But Alvin is right. As in, like, you can actually see, if you have a sleep tracker, you can actually see that you had better quality sleep. So essential oils actually makes a difference. So that's awesome. As in, like, yeah, like I even have some of the rollers that you can roll on to the wrist. Like I went all out. But that's definitely value in essential oil. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
Nice. I like it that number one, our discovery of the week are both stretching tools. Number two, our show and tell are both, it could be a nice supper and then essential oil to help you sleep. And then the third thing I like is that our baju matches on well. So we got three things today. That's somewhat.
I swear we didn't plan it. Okay, we planned the outfit, but we didn't plan the oils. We didn't plan the everything else. Awesome. Penny is saying that you mix peppermint and lavender makes you sleep like a dead body. There you go. There you go. That explains it. So, friends, have you tried essential oils before? You want to comment? What is your favorite? Do you have like a recipe? I know I have friends who mix their own. They have a few drops of this and a few drops of that, and they put it into a little bottle and they shake it and they create their own room spray, and that's just great. There's no chemicals there. It's all natural. It's coming up with your own sense that you enjoy, and it's just I think that's just a great way to do things. So if you have a favorite blend or something that you want to share, just comment below. I'm curious. Mine is the lavender piece from Doterra. I think Alvin, it sounds like it's his peppermint because it knocks him out at night. But great. Awesome. So we got questions coming in still. I see some questions on Facebook as well. It's going to be hard to choose. But where are we next? What segment?
So continue with our segment, question and answer. We have questioning coming in from Facebook. And I believe this is addressed to you, Noel.
Okay.
So question is, where to get exercise bike for obese people? He's 170 kilos, 35 years old, currently seeing a specialist at Prince Court. Went to Decathlon, but the max weight is 130 kilos.
Yeah, so I guess if I could kind of reframe the question is also kind of saying that if someone is obese, 170 kgs, what can they do? That's in a way, that's kind of what it's asking, because this person can't find a bike, right? So that's right. It's hard to find a bike for someone who's 170 kgs. In fact, it's hard to find a weighing scale that can cater 170 kgs. Did you know that? You need a commercial gym kind of weighing scale is going to cost you a lot of money. You can't, if you use those typical IKEA weighing scales or something you buy online, they are actually only catered for, I think, 120 kgs at most. So if you're 170 kgs, you're a little special, meaning that you need a little bit more help. You can't rely on some of these regular store-bought items. So here's the thing. I personally think that getting on an exercise bike might be the most uncomfortable thing ever. If you're 170 kgs, you may be looking at one of those bikes where you can lean back and sit rather than one of those with the bicycle seat, because those are going to be super uncomfortable for you to sit on that seat. So I don't think places like Decathlon or any retail manufacturer is going to have those bikes. You want to look for a commercial bike. That means you're looking at brands like Techno Gym, you're looking at what Life Fitness, and these are not brands that you're going to buy from the supermarket. These are not bikes that are going to cost you $800 and $1,000. These are bikes that are going to cost you 7, 8, 10,000 ringgit for a bike, right? So you need to look for a commercial bike. But here's what I think. So the good thing is you are under the care of a specialist at Prince Court, you've mentioned. So good on you for it's your neighbor, right? You said for obese people. Okay, great. So good on you for doing that. But here's the thing. Listen to the advice of the specialist that you're under care with. I think Prince Court has got nutritionists and all of those. That's what's going to get you to losing that weight. Also remember that when it comes to losing weight and fat loss, it's, I would say 90%, 80% nutrition, and exercise and movement is just one part of it. So if this whole bike thing is just too complicated, it's too expensive, and you just can't find a suitable bike, look at what he can do. If walking is comfortable for him, then go ahead with just walking. That's sufficient for now. It doesn't have to get in the bike, unless, again, I don't have the full info, unless you're saying that the walking hurts the knees a lot and therefore that's why he needs to be on the bike. Then that kind of makes sense as well. But focus on your diet. I'm just really glad that actually you are getting the help from a specialist and you're not just trying to Google your way through the whole thing. And I wish you all the best. I wish your neighbors, this person that you're trying to help all the best as well. The good news is that when you're 170 kgs, actually the weight comes off pretty fast. You just control what you eat, focus on movement, the weight comes off pretty fast. And you can actually start seeing progress, feeling better very, very quickly. So focus on those things, control what you can, which is your diet and your movement. Don't worry too much about the bike. I'm sorry I don't have specifics like contact this person and he'll hook you up with a bike. I don't have that. But go do if you're still looking for that bike, you want to look for a commercial bike. Okay. I know Techno Gym. There's this one brand that seems to pop up my head very often, would have a bike that might, because they have a local presence here. So you want to look up for Techno Gym. I don't know the person in Techno Gym, but send me a DM. I could probably put you in touch with someone. I know they have a showroom here somewhere in Bangsa. But yep, I hope that answer helped you and helped someone else with similar concerns.
Perfect. I'm going to leave it as that.
Okay.
So we have next question here from Facebook. This is from Pat. And Pat asks, is it true your head doesn't feel as heavy if you have good posture? So I'm going to take this. So she asked, your head doesn't feel heavy if you have good posture, and that is really true. So when we are standing neutral, when we are standing upright, our head actually have weight. It weighs, if I'm not mistaken, about 12 pounds. You can, later I'll search it up, as 12 pounds. Now, if our head, I'm going to tilt down, tilted in front about 2 inch, I believe the weight double up. It becomes about 25 to 30 pounds. If it tilted another 4 inch, this is like a forward head, it triples up. It becomes about 40 plus pounds. So just by maintaining an upright posture, your head is going to be less weight as compared to in front here. And that's why a lot of people feel very stiff on their neck, because this is 40 kilos pressing down. So your muscles here are going to get really, really tense. So sometimes stretching might not be the long-term plan. You stretch and then it comes back. It's actually adjusting your posture. This maintaining an upright posture is going to do wonders for your muscles and balance out everything. So that's right, Pat.
So with better posture, there's also less wear and tear in your joints and right. So it's a compounding thing, as in like, and all because of posture. And the thing about posture is nowadays, you know what, this whole thing about what you mentioned just now about the angle of the head and not being aware of posture. We are so nowadays looking at our phone downwards like this all the time. I'm totally guilty of this. I'm walking my dog and I'm looking at my phone like this. I should be looking straight ahead, right? We're always looking at the computer. So I think people nowadays should be even more conscious about things like this. But yeah, awesome. Thank you for highlighting that, Pat.
Okay, so we have a next question, and this is addressed to Alvin. Can
Great.
date bug help me with my posture and lower back pain? So I love all these posture questions. Keep them coming. Yes, date bug is an amazing movement. Date bug is actually a core movement where you lie down flat on the ground and then you raise up your knees 90-degree angle. And then you can lower down your hands, you can straighten your legs. So that's a date bug. Date bug is good because it can strengthen your core. It actually promotes a neutral spine because when you lie down flat on the ground, you have to maintain a neutral spine, meaning that if I were to put my hands through, there won't be a big arch on your lower back. So date bug is going to reinforce that posture or that position of your body into a very neutral alignment. So that's great. Now, I love date bug, and let me rephrase that. I love to use date bug with most clients better than plank is because most of us, we have some sort of posture deviation, like for example, an arch in our lower back or a lumbar lordosis. So when we go to plank, as you hold 20, 30 seconds, you start feeling not only your core, but lower back. That's because your posture is already deviated already. So plank might not be the most immediate or effective movements to go first. Date bug is very nice because once you lie down flat on the ground, you immediately ensure that your spine is more neutral. And then you can focus on targeting your core by playing around with your legs. So for those of you who have never tried date bug, you can always Google date bug and then you can give that movement a try because I feel it helps you to engage more core than plank. One thing about plank, when we straight get into a plank, we think of using our shoulders and compensating here and there. You feel your core, but also at the expense of other muscles, which in the end of the day kind of defeat the purpose because you want it to strengthen your core, not so much on your shoulders and legs. So date bug can be a good option or alternative. Okay, and yes, it can definitely strengthen your posture, and with a neutral posture, strong core, it's going to prevent and reduce any lower back pain. So
I got a question, Alvin. Why did they call it a dead bug?
Now, one thing about a lot of exercises are cat, camel, date bug because it mimics the actual animal. So I'm guessing date bug is because when the bug dies, the head will be up.
Have you seen like an upside down beetle that's about to die? Have you seen the legs in the air? That's exactly what doing the dead bug looks like. So that's the name of the movement is named after a bug that's dying. If you've seen it, it's like moving slowly and controlled. That's literally a dead bug. So I'll just,
and you know what I would say to my clients, Noel? If you do it correctly, you might end up like a dead bug or whatever. They call fatigue already.
It's a challenging movement, and the dead bug is a great movement. Awesome. There's a question on Instagram, a pretty important question. The question comes from I Am Platinum Babe, who's asking how to keep the consistency going on. So I think what she's really asking is how to be consistent with workouts, with everything. I think when it comes to being consistent with something, it's I think people can only be self-motivated to a certain extent. So everybody needs help. So if you're struggling with being consistent, know that a lot of people and almost everyone struggles with being consistent with something. So you're completely normal. So you just need to get some assistance and help. And how does this assistance and help come from? Here's what I suggest. Number one is get other people involved in your journey. This could be a gym buddy who signs up for a program with you. It could be a group program. It could be working with a coach because now it's just no longer you alone. So So you can't give excuses just to yourself, but there's someone else involved, someone that you don't want to disappoint, someone that you gave your word that I'm going to train 3 times per week, and then you can't let that person down. So think about having a workout buddy, a trainer, or just an accountability coach or friend who's going to hold you accountable. That's one thing. And actually, that's really just the one thing I think would be a total game changer in being consistent. I wish there was some other secret hack, but I think the one thing that can really make a huge difference is to include someone else in your journey to help you stay consistent. Okay, that's it. That's my answer for you.
I also like to add, have a very structured daily routine. I feel like when you have a structured routine, you have more clarity in everything that you have to do in a day. You'll be reminded of oh, I wake up today. Oh, I really need to exercise because exercise is going to bring me good health so that I stay fit and healthy to be around for my children as they age. I don't want to have any injuries or any complications later on. So when you are reminded of all these strong reasons, which I believe we all have, you will put in the work, So I think when one thing leads to another, so have a strong structure routine.
Yeah. Great. So my friends on Instagram, if you have more questions, just click on the little question mark. My friends on Facebook, we probably could take a question or two, but we are getting closer to 10 p.m. What's next on our segment, Alvin? I think we are coming close to our closing already.
So we're going to have one last one on Facebook. So this is by Natalia. Is it okay to work out at midnight, but still get that 8 hours of sleep? Is it okay to work out at midnight and then get 8 hours of sleep? I'm going to have this by saying a straight yes. It's okay to work out at midnight if that's how your schedule or lifestyle allows you only midnight to work out, and then you still get 8 hours of sleep. And it's a yes to both. It's a good, you get your workout and you get 8 hours of sleep. It's a win-win. Just be mindful that you don't want your workout at midnight to interfere with your sleep. If you feel that your sleep is not getting good quality, you might want to tone down a little bit on the intensity, adjust a little bit. But if that keeps you going, all means, go ahead. That's what works for you.
Yeah, and if you can't sleep, then you get the peppermint and lavender, and then you're all
right, and a QuestBar for perhaps post workout, huh?
Yeah, but Natalia brings up a good point. I think the concern really is for a lot of people is that some people, when they train at night, it affects their sleep. Also depends on kind of training. If you're doing a high intensity interval training at 11:45 at night, it's gonna keep you all wired up and buzzing, and you may have trouble falling asleep. But some people have no issues. They can work out and sleep like a baby. I know some people who train at 7 p.m. and it's too late, keeps them up. So you would know what's best for you, but as you mentioned, you can still get your 8 hours of sleep, and by all means, go ahead. Yeah, perfect. Most people at night, they don't feel like working out. I feel like reading a book or watching some TV and just winding down. But if you're motivated to train at night, it's like, wow, I think that's amazing. That's amazing. I wish I could do that.